Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2017 in our European Journeyman series at Leverkusen as we take on two huge games today against Schalke away and then at home against second place Bayern Munich. It's going to be a huge match for us, and we could extend our winning run in the Bundesliga to 10 matches if we win both of these games. Now the first match is away against Schalke. We're going to play a very similar team to the last two wins that we picked up, but Ribollo, I think is how you pronounce his name. He is the only change. He's coming in for Douglas Santos to make his debut after missing out on the last couple of matches. I want to give him a chance to see what he can do in that left wing back position. But it is worth remembering Douglas Santos has been absolutely out of this world in recent games. 7.84 rating so far this season in the league. 8 assists and 4 goals from left wing back is not a bad return at all, but I do want to give Ribollo that chance because he is also a very good player, and he could do big things for us in the future, especially at just 24 years old. Obviously Bernardo Silva got a hat-trick in the last game, so I'm hoping that he can continue where he left off, and I'd like to see a bit more from Braga. Natgal's been a bit quiet in recent matches, so I want to see a little bit more from him as well. Otherwise, I'm very happy with just about everybody else in the team. Maybe a new goalkeeper is something we need to look at, but the transfer window has closed. There are no more movements in or out. But it is worth just noting that when you look at the transfer history, we brought in nearly £50 million more than we spent this season, and we're currently sitting top of the league. That is not a bad return on investment. We've even got money in the transfer budget left that I just wasn't able to spend because I couldn't find anybody that I really wanted. But next summer, I think, given we've got the core of the team now pretty well established, there will be one or two big marquee signings coming in that can take us to that next level. But we need to make sure we're in the Champions League and hopefully league champions before that can happen. And we need to beat Schalke to keep going in the right direction. Major puts the ball in, but it's cut out by Havertz. No real chances in the game yet. Betty, forward to Bernardo Silva. Braga. On to Henriks. Bernardo Silva continues his run. Finds Braga again. Natgal's up there if they need him. Betty on to Natgal now. Through to Ribollo. He finds Braga and he finds the bottom corner. The two new signings both linking up. Ribollo with the assist on his debut, and Braga gets his first goal for the club to give us a crucial away lead. Sengül puts the ball in. It's cleared out by Rukas, but Schneider has it. Edge of the area. Back to Sengül again. It's put in and the header goes in. Janssen on the line maybe got the touch, and he did. Vincent Janssen. That ball was going in. It would have been a goal, but Vincent Janssen there has just touched it in, or at least distracted the play so that it went in, and we keep our 1-0 lead at least for now. Just under 20 minutes left. It's Henriks on the ball. We could definitely do with a second goal. Betty finds Bernardo Silva. Maleba off the bench and into the top corner. He is such a good youth prospect, and he's just doubled our lead with his 4th of the season to make it 2-0. And that should be 3 more points and a 9th straight league win all in the bag. Rakovic forward to Gimba. Klosterman down the line. Easily taken by Ribollo, who has looked impressive today. Here's Braga. On to Bernardo Silva. Braga picks up the loose ball. Doumbia. Forward to Maleba. Doumbia again. There is space for a ball over the top. Braga reverses the pass. So Bernardo Silva in on goal, and he drills it into the bottom corner. And this is a convincing victory now. 3-0, and Bernardo Silva with 4 goals in his first 3 games for the club. Çalhanoğlu puts the ball in. Bernardo Silva, of all people, heads it out. We have been weak at corners recently, so we need to be careful. But there's just 10 seconds left for another clean sheet and a really emphatic win against a team who are challenging for Champions League football this season. This game could see that come to an end for them, and it definitely helps us at the top of the table with a game against Bayern Munich still to come. We remain 5 points clear of Hamburg. Schalke now down in 7th, 10 points behind us, so we're looking quite convincing. We are 6 points clear of Gladbach, but Bayern Munich, who are also 6 points behind, can close that gap to 3 points and maybe close it completely if they win that game in hand and beat us in the next match. Well, there are a couple of changes to the team for this match against Bayern Munich. There's 2 players suspended. So Doumbia comes into the middle for Havertz and Miklacek has come in at right back for Henriks. They were the 2 that were suspended. Otherwise, the team is as it has been for the last 3 victories. And I'm hoping we can make it 10 Bundesliga wins in a row against Bayern Munich. We are at home, but the team is fully fit, full of morale and confidence, and hopefully we'll be able to get a win that would put us completely in the driving seat heading into the last 10 or so games of this season. Well, we will be live coming this game as well because it's definitely the biggest one of our season. We had a huge one with Hamburg in the last game in the last episode that we won 5-2. A result like that today would be phenomenal, but it is going to be very tough. Bayern Munich usually have the beating of us. Here's Nachtigall back to Betty. Braga onto Nachtigall again. He needs to get forward. Betty trying to bring it forward. Instead, Doumbia goes back to Traub. He sends it down the line for Betty. Douglas Santos back in the team, and up front is Braga, but he can't beat Lafont. I think he might even have tried to chip him there from about 8 yards out. That was a ridiculous decision. But it is still 0-0. We have had our first chance, and a first clear-cut chance according to the game as well. He really should have hit that hard and low into a corner. But that's the trouble with having your front 3 lacking a finishing ability. I really need to try and find a shadow striker in the game, but there is none out there at the moment who are good enough to really play. Bernardo Silva picking up a knock is not what we want at this stage, but it does allow Malherbe to come on, and he's been very good recently. Not as good as Bernardo Silva, but hopefully good enough to do some damage. Zimmerman with a corner. We've been struggling from these. Here's Stojkovic running into the box, and it's hit the post. It's on the line, and it's just been tucked home. But I think it's offside. I'm not sure what's happening. It is offside. Very, very lucky for us there. The second time that has happened in as many games in this episode. We are just surviving by the skin of our teeth there. Still 0-0, but I'm not particularly happy with how the team are playing. In theory, we're dominating the game, but we're not necessarily creating the chances that I'd like. And going into half-time, it is still 0-0. We need to get the win today. I mean, a draw wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We'd still be top of the table by a good couple of points. At least, maybe even more, but it's the win that we want. We want to push Bayern Munich out of the title race as quickly as possible because they will be very good at chasing it down. Here's Douglas Santos, on to Betty, Nachtigall, back to Traub, Betty again. He really does run the show for us in midfield, but he's lost the ball there. 2 players doubling up on him. Now he's found Nachtigall. Braga looking over the top, but it's cut out. Malherbe wins it back for us. Betty through to Braga. Can he reverse the pass? He finds Malherbe. There's Nachtigall, but he's put the effort wide. That needed to go in. It was beautiful passing play, but he just couldn't finish it. I think we need to take Douglas Santos off if he's on a yellow card. I don't trust that, and Rebolo did very well in the last game, so hopefully he can have an impact today where Douglas Santos hasn't. We may need to take Nachtigall off soon as well after missing that chance. His rating is very poor. Here's Miklacek. Over to Betty. Now Nachtigall finds Braga, ball in behind for Rebolo in the right area, but he went for goal. He had to cut that across the face so that we could get a free tap in. But instead we are left with a corner being taken by Braga. Looking to the back post, the header goes a long way wide, but it is another corner kick. We are very much in control of the game now since Bayern had that goal disallowed. Braga with this second corner, but it's claimed by Lafont, and that will probably be the end of that highlight. Here's another chance. Rebolo, brought down by Joshua Kimmich, who's a brilliant youngster in this game. If you ever get the opportunity to sign him, he did very well for me, I think, in my Newcastle series. Or maybe even the West Ham series. It's Braga's free kick, though, into the area. And there's Rukas down to Malherbe, who cracks it into the top corner. He came on for Bernardo Silva, but he's got the goal that we desperately needed. Excellent play from the team, heading the ball across the 6-yard box. And it was just rifled in. Now we need to be careful. It's Piper round the corner for Musri, our former player. He puts it across and Amiri is there. And just like that, Bayern Munich are back on level terms. That was their first chance of the second half. They hadn't even had a shot in this half. But as soon as they needed a goal, they went and got one. And that is the danger that we're facing playing Bayern Munich. We're going to have to take Natgal off and stop playing him, I think. He's been absolutely woeful recently. Enriquez can come on. He hasn't played a lot. He's been injured for about a month and a half. And since he's come back, we've brought in the 2 new attacking players. We're going to have to go attacking as well in this game. We are in control of the game, so it's hopefully not too big a risk. But I think we're really struggling to get a winner here. And Bayern Munich appear to be playing on a counter-attack. I think someone's about to get a yellow card. Mikulacak does escape that, but here's the full-time whistle effectively. There it is. It's a 1-1 draw with Bayern Munich. Our winning streak ends at 9 in the Bundesliga. I feel like we really should have won that game. Bayern Munich never should have got the goal, but we were lucky they didn't get the one earlier. And it will guarantee us a 3-point lead at the top of the table with 13 games to go. It's going to be very difficult, but we've now played Bayern and Hamburg already. We've got Dortmund still to play, but everybody else in the league we should be beating. Dortmund will be the tough one, but with a 3-point gap we can afford to lose that game and still be top, I think. But Bernardo Silva out for 2 or 3 weeks, not ideal. And if we have a look at the schedule, you can see that the unbeaten run stretching all the way back to the end of November. And that defeat was to Dortmund, and that was 2 days after the international break, which was a very frustrating game because we would have been unbeaten since this Inter Milan game when we brought the new tactic in. It just shows how dominant this tactic is. Now, next episode, we've got an away match with Freiburg in a week's time, and then it's the knockout stage of the Champions League as we take on Anderlecht. Such a lucky draw for us there, but that is going to be a big game. It's away from home first, so we need to make sure we're not complacent and make sure we do get the 3 points. But that is going to be it for this episode. Do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also, head over to Twitter and drop me a follow if you're on there. All those links are in the description. But until next time, see ya.